Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta has urged Israel to re-establish its observer status at the African Union. Kenyatta says despite past frosty relations between Israel and many African countries, Israel is a critical partner in Africa's fight against extremism. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is in Nairobi on the second leg of his four-nation African tour, says Israel is back in Africa and is ready to cooperate on areas of security, agriculture and water resources.
It is the first visit by a top Israeli leader to Africa in more than 3 decades. It is seen as a way of reaching out to a continent that has largely limited or cut ties with Israel. Relations between Israel and South Africa's apartheid government, one of the reasons many African countries severed ties with Israel. Netanyahu's host says it is time to turn over a new leaf.
Kenya will continue to push to see how Israel can regain her observer position at the African Union. And I believe that this is not just good for Kenya, it is good for Africa, it is good for global peace. It would be foolhardy for one to sit back and say that faced with those challenges, that Kenya, that Africa cannot engage Israel in this particular issue. That is like an ostrich burying its head in the sand.
Things are changing in the relations between Israel and many of our Arab neighbors. A similar change is now undergoing our relations with African countries.
While Netanyahu kept off the issue of Palestine, Kenyatta made a plea for talks.
We as a country continue to encourage peace talks to be held between both the Israelis and the Palestinians.
Netanyahu says with the rise of extremism, the country will assist African nations in intelligence gathering in the continent's fight against terror.
The practical result of our cooperation can be greater prosperity and greater security for each and every one of them.
Israel media reports indicate that the country may seek allies in African countries to reduce the Palestinian voice at the United Nations. Palestine has a non-member observer status at the United Nations. Sarah Kimani, SABC News, Kenya.